of you watched the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion part 1? Because I really want to talk about it with you guys. So many things happened. I was left with so many questions, and I want to know how y'all felt about it. So first, on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate the episode? 1 being absolutely not, 10 being hell yeah, they did that. Okay. I personally, because I had a couple of jaw-dropping moments, right? I had to pop it back in the socket. I would rate it at 8 or so. And can I ask y'all how would you would rate the overall season in general as well? Shout out to Baltimore. Hey, Meg. Because a lot of people say that they didn't care for the season, but I liked it. I felt like we needed a pivot season, and they did a fantastic job of providing that. Stacey was a breath of fresh air. We got a new Dizzy girl at the table, Jazzy, and her little side chick turned fiance story. I love Kiarna. And who else was new? We got Jacqueline, which, I want a refund on, but overall, it was really, really great. We needed this. And now we're going to be going, and Gizelle and Wendy, they're now on a new leaf and everything like that. I felt like we needed this, what this season gave. The levity, the softness, dropping, their swords and everything like that. And now moving on, we're going to be powering up again the way that RHOP is known to. So please rate the season for me, and also rate part 1 of the reunion. We've got a word from some of our sponsors, and afterwards I'm going to come back and talk about it with you. I got lots and lots and lots to bring up. Okay, you guys, stay tuned. And don't forget to like the stream. So I am loving reading you guys' ratings in the comments. Aquila gives it a 7. Tadisha says that it was a 10, which is super duper generous. Wow, a 10 out of 10. That's amazing, Tadisha. And I thought I was being generous with an 8, but you know what? They deserve it. It was a really good, and it was surprising because the season overall, it felt kind of like chill, you know what I mean? But to have that kind of like hook spot already was crazy. It makes me wonder what's still to come for parts 2 and 3, especially as far as Mia Thornton is concerned. And I agree. Stacey reminds me of Kenya in every single way. The fake relationship, the beauty, the just everything, like just everything about them, the vibes, like they both carry themselves in such a beautiful, like kind of elegant, like way that I love as well. So I definitely get what you're saying. And I think their noses are very similar to me as well. They're both brown skin girls as well, like really, really cool. They both have daughters. Tadisha, why are you only giving the season a 4.5 out of 5? And how crazy is it that you can go from rating the season of 4.5 to the reunion a 10? That means that they really stepped it up for the reunion. And I love that for them. And yes, Milan, Walter, the first hired boyfriend, shout out to him. Allie's only giving the reunion a 5. Aquilat's only giving the season a 4.5 as well. I feel like so delusional because I was giving the season like a 7 and the reunion an 8, y'all. East Awesome. Hey, RHOP is a solid 7.5 because of the levity provided by Stacey. We needed her so much. Yes, we needed Giselle's rehabilitation and the removal of Robin. Period. Drop that mic, talk that talk. You have it on lock. That was 100% correct, in my opinion. Anyway, Stephanie says she really is another. It's so crazy how we all see the same thing in Stacey, right? That she is just like Kenya. And it's, I'm kind of scared for what that means. I hope that she doesn't turn into a full-blown villain the way that Kenya did, because at first, like, Kenya's like little things that she would do, like the jabs or this or that, they were cute, they were funny, they were key. But then she went really, really off the deep end. And the thing that I still to this day hate that Kenya ever did was the way that she treated Rudy, that girl from the Cosby Show. Was it the Cosby Show? Miss Kim something. So Kim, she has this long acting resume, right? And for some reason, Kenya just hated her when she made it onto the show. And she made it her mission to bully this girl out of the show in a way that was just so ugly. And the worst that I had seen of it was when she went and she dragged that woman's chair out from under her. I said, whew, wow, what an ugly heart you have. Why would you do that? Why would you, as a 50-year-old woman, do that to another 50-year-old woman? And what has Kim Fields ever done to anybody to deserve that? Kenya sometimes, like, she could be magic. She really can, but sometimes she just takes things in such an ugly direction that, it's hard to come back from. And I really hope that Stacey doesn't go down that path. Kambule says that she thinks they will bring back Robin. No, how could you do this to me? No, please, Bravo, do not bring back Robin. We do not need her. She is so boring. And Gizelle being able to fly without Robin and like not having like that mean girl crutch. However, I will say that Ashley seems in part one of the reunion, she seems so desperate to fill in that like Beavis and Butthead like mean sidekick henchman thing. Like she was so mean for no reason too. Both of those girls, like just when I thought Gizelle turned over a new leaf and she stopped bullying people, she goes back to her roots. J.I. said Stacey didn't have a sperm donor named Mark Daly, and thank God she didn't, because Mark Daly has been giving Kenya hell ever since. And thank you, you guys. Her name was not Kenya Fields, Kim Fields. She seemed like a lovely enough girl. I don't know why Kenya went in that direction with her. Now let's get into this reunion special, shall we? So we get into Karen's home, which, by the way, I didn't notice until I put up this picture. It's too geometric. All of these squares and rectangles everywhere, the molding on the walls, then the cage on the fireplace, the shield. Then you've got like the credenzas and stuff, the square lamps, the square chair, the square pull out, whatever that is, just squares everywhere, damn it. And then the top row is all circles. Whew. Who is her interior designer? I need to talk to them for a minute. Anyhow, she's up there. She decides not to join and do the reunion in person. So she sends in a video of her crying and playing the victim over her DUI verdict and denying that she's an alcoholic, yet announcing that she's going to rehab. Okay, girl, whatever that means. Why can she never just own up to it? In fact, I think that the situation would be a lot more sympathetic if she could admit that she's an alcoholic. Because to me, okay, if you have alcoholism, which is a literal disease and illness, we can say it's your illness that caused you to do this, right? But if you're sitting here in your fur hat telling me that you have no real excuse for doing this because you are not an alcoholic, you're just a selfish person, how am I supposed to feel bad for you, right? I didn't get that play at all. So she did that. And all the girls seemed really sympathetic to it. But did the girls see this? No, the girls saw another version. The girls saw her when they redid her face. Do you see the difference between her faces? Between this and this, I think she did some sort of a treatment. Her face looked so tight in that second video that she filmed, but I digress. We're going to get into that a little bit later. So all of the girls, they come out on stage, and I've got to say, this is the best that I have ever seen all of them look collectively. Typically, the Real Housewives of Potomac look tragic at their reunions. They look so damn cheap and just a mess all the time, but they really crushed it. And it makes me especially sad that Karen wasn't there, because Karen is typically the best dressed, right? Especially come reunion time. So I hate that she wasn't there to also kind of show off her fashions. And there's something that really irritated me about like the girls' reunion dresses. Again, I thought they were just so fabulously dressed, right? But then you start seeing these like squeezed up boobs everywhere. You're like, Wendy, please, what is going on? Your boob is begging for mercy. It might pop. Didn't you just get this installed? And then you've got Kiarna somewhere. Let me go ahead and pull up Kiarna. Like, literally, what is this? How do you it looks like she got into the dress and then later decided to add the boobs as an afterthought from the top and shove them in. It's too small. The dress is too small. It looks a mess. What is this? I don't know why the girls do this. Like, okay, look, Ashley pushed her boobs up, but for her, they're tamed. Okay. Hers look amazing there. Let's actually run down the line while we're here. Stacey's looked great as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Mia's looked tasteful too. Right? Like there's a way to have them out here. You don't need to squeeze them into tops and dresses that are way too damn small. Like I was so distracted the entire time looking at these racks. Oh my God, right? Lord. Anyway, you guys, let's continue. So I do lastly about the outfits. I do have to say this a little bit scary that Miss Gizelle Can't Dress Bryant actually turned out to be the best dressed. She has never been best dressed a day in her life in any room she stepped in, but tonight she actually was. And I really, really loved this look. I do wish though that she would retire this copper hair color, but baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. So the girls all talk about Karen missing in action before we cut to a video of her. And she goes down the line of all the people that she wants to thank for their love and support over the time. Again, she clearly has some facial treatments going in here. I think she was thinking, hey, I'm about to go to jail. I want to look good. Let's go ahead and get some touch-ups done, right? So she goes down the list and thanks everybody with the exception of Wendy. And Wendy has been the one person who has been like there for her, her biggest advocate this entire season, with the exception of Kiarna, right? And this is when I actually had to turn in my stand card, you guys. And let me take this photo down and look you in the eyes. And Grace, don't cry. Don't cry, girl. I have to look you in the eyes and tell you guys, I'm turning in my La Dame stand card. When she purposely did that to exclude Wendy, who supported her more than anybody, the girl went and thanked Gizelle, who threw shade at her with like the cocktail party, right? She said, oh, I'm going to name a mocktail after you because you shouldn't be drinking type stuff, right? She was joking about Karen running into trees. She was doing all sorts of things against Karen behind her back on the show, and Karen still thanks her. Wendy never, and oh my God, Tanisha, you're the same way. Wendy never said a single word like her, not a single ounce of shade. She always said her priority was Karen. Everything was about Karen to her. And for Karen to go in purpose, she could have just said, I thank you all, so it could be ambiguous, but she did this on purpose. It was cruel, it was calculated, and it made me just dislike her now. I can't say I hate her. I might go back, in disguise and recollect my La Dame stand card. I might rise again, but for now I'm seated because I can't, you guys. I can't. The way she treated Wendy was unacceptable, you guys. You guys are laughing about the thing, but doesn't it look like that? Let me go ahead and put the picture back up and let me visualize it for you guys. Okay, I'm going to get up here for full effect. It's Kiarna's dress, and I love Kiarna. I think she's beautiful. When it's standing, it looks great, but when it's seated, the boobs are up to her chin, right? So it looks like she really pulled up the dress, and then the boobs are up here. She had her assistants, one per hand behind her. She pulls up the dress, and then she goes, boob me, and then they put it in. They say, okay, there you go. So now that you have the visual of what I've been envisioning in my head, let me put up the picture. And please, if you think I'm wrong, go ahead and tell me. Let me go ahead and find that picture. Doesn't it look like that, you guys? That's the visual I get every time I see that girl. There's no way. There's no way. What happened there, you guys? Anyway, my jaw, by the way, was on the floor when Gizelle and Ashley decided to go ahead and start attacking Stacey, y'all. It turns out because Andy is asking all the girls if they got to enjoy or try out Happy Eddie. Wendy's husband, Eddie, he's got a cannabis company. Apparently it's really successful. I'm hearing a lot of people online like loving it and whatnot. They say it's really potent. And he asked the girls if they've tried it. Kiarna's tried it. And then Stacey says she loves it, especially the edibles. And then Gizelle takes this opportunity to pounce on Stacey. She says, Stacey, aren't you about to come out with your own like line of like Happy Eddie type thing? Like, aren't you gonna, steal that business idea? And then here comes her sidekick, Ashley. She's like, yeah, Stacey. That was the first time my jaw dropped. Okay. I said, what? Because to me, it's scary, right? If they are telling the truth, which I do believe they are telling the truth. I don't think they made this up. But the idea that Stacey could be sitting there beside Wendy, hyping up her husband's business, knowing that she's about to try and compete with her husband's business, that is so like, and those of you who are saying that, like, she's got that Kenya energy, like, that is so crazy to me. It really, and, this is why I love reality TV, especially because, and, I watched this movie on Netflix and I recommend it to you guys, Leave the World Behind with Mahershala Ali. And there was, who's that girl? Julia Roberts. So good. And one quote that they said in the movie, it's so incredible. It says that, entertainment is an escape, but also a mirror, right? To me, this is like a mirror to like people that exist in society that we've all encountered in our lives, right? People who could smile in your face, cheer you on, but secretly they want to compete with you and they want to undermine you. And I'm like, no, not my sweet Stacey. Oh, my Shayla. This can't be. Are you kidding me? That scared me. That truly, truly scared me. Because I'm going through this right now, like when you're kind of like reevaluating, you kind of just have some time to yourself and you're reevaluating relationships you have in your life, like friendships or this or that. And you're like, is this person really my friend? Or is this, that kind of just jumped out to me because it was at this moment where I'm currently like, evaluating. And I was like, wow, reality TV really, truly can be a mirror, you guys. So use it, truly, truly use it to evaluate certain aspects of your own life. Cal says, Gizelle and Ashley are always upset at gorgeous Black women. They are so lame. I agree. Where is this coming from? Because on the show, we saw Gizelle joke around about not liking Stacey, but it wasn't a real dislike. It's just that Stacey's huggy, cuddly, touchy-feely, and Gizelle is not, right? It's golden retriever, black cat jokes. But she came at her with a level of vitriol that I did not understand, And I agree, Theo. I agree. But you know what? I actually kind of feel like, are shrooms legal for you guys? Like over there in the DMV? Because maybe it might be better for her to get into shrooms. You know what I mean? Like if you can't do like the cannabis because your friend's husband's doing it, why don't you do shrooms if you want to do something to get people a little high, right? Allie says she's a shady lady, and I'm afraid that that's the case. And I feel like maybe that's why Gizelle is ready to go after her. But at the same time, Gizelle's pattern and MO has always been to go after beautiful new women who might be living better than she is. And we all know that Stacey married well. So she doesn't really need the little check, as Monique would say, the same way that Gizelle needs it, right? And so I feel like, is this just typical Gizelle bitterness, meanness, or is she just seeing through Stacey, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Stacey fake? J.I. says Gizelle lies all the time, though. She just lied about being with Jamal for a storyline. Oh, that's true. And she did lie about the Chris, or exaggerate the Chris thing. And there were some things that she exaggerated and lied about this season and laughed about it, putting some stank on it, as she says. Oh, damn it. But I feel like this didn't come out of nowhere. I don't know. I feel like they're telling the truth because Stacey was floored. But even if they were telling the truth, I don't think that Stacey would still continue on with that plan after what just happened, right? Tanisha says Stacey was lying about not starting the line, but Gizelle's attack was so random and unprovoked, right? It was so like out of left field. We left with them being on good terms. Stacey even just threw Karen under the bus, thinking that this is going to continue to help her move closer in her friendships with the rest of the girls, right? Wow. East awesome. Stacey and Kenya are from Detroit with the same bone structure. I want a DNA test. Oh, me too. Giselle is jealous that Stacey became a fan favorite, says J.I. I agree. I think that's it. Maybe that's why. Like, it just feels so disjointed. Maybe she wants to get back. But here's the thing. Giselle, you were winning over people who have always hated you, like myself, right? I've always thought she was just a mean, nasty, bitter, just of a woman. But this season, she has been so good. So why revert back to that? Monica, not legal in Cali, but very accessible, to be honest. So like, if that's the case, like maybe, like, I don't know. I feel like Stacey probably should have gone to Wendy if she did have this idea and pitch it. Like, hey, can I have like, you know what? Can Happy Eddie produce one joint or one this or that and call it Spacey Stacey and we split the profits, right? Something like that would have been cool. Collaborate, right? Or at least be honest if you want to compete. But why do they always do that? Like in New York, they all wanted to do booze because Bethany had success with booze. Now here, because Happy Eddie is doing well, they all want to do cannabis. Come on now. Come on. Don't love it. Now, then there was another attack launched by Gizelle towards Stacey. Gizelle actually made my jaw drop twice. She usually sucks at reunions, but I think she came to slay this in yesterday's reunion, y'all, because next she goes after Stacey. And again, it was so mean that my jaw dropped open. Like, why would you say that, And again, her sidekick, Ashley, was there to be mean with her. And it's like, Ashley, you have to prostitute yourself out to like deviant old men. Like, where's this pompous attitude coming from, And Gizelle, we've seen the inside of all of your houses. Stop it. Like, why are you guys so arrogant, with your shake and go like prom wig? I don't get it. It's so weird. So then like, Wendy tells Stacey at this point, she says, hey, Wendy, she goes, hey, Stacey, Karen told me to watch out for you because you're smart, like, educated and all sorts of things. And then here comes mean girl Gizelle talk about, oh, is she smart? Is she educated? Girl, Why would you say that? Why would you, like, that is so mean in a room full of women to sit there and point one out and go and doubt her intelligence and doubt her education. She has a bachelor's degree just like you have a bachelor's degree. I'm sorry, but you would think that Gizelle had an advanced degree or something. The way she's always touting around this bachelor's degree that she got back, you know what I mean? Like, you have a bachelor's degree, girl. Congratulations. So does everybody else here on the couch. Candace had an MBA. Wendy's got 4 degrees. The rest of the girls have bachelor's degrees except Mia. So what is this put down? I don't get it. Like, what does she get off on this sort of thing? Like, oh, and the fact that she's raising daughters, like, it's always something that's just so sad to me, you know? Like, she's just such a bad example, in my opinion. Just such a like, oh God, I would hate for, you know, anyone else to turn out this way. Like, I don't think we need more of these sorts of attitudes in the world. Like, thankfully her kids seem nice and, like, you know, they call her out on how mean she is, but like, she is truly, truly mean and vile down to the bone. And then for Ashley in the side, the whole thing, you know, even the Stacey, she just kept on throwing those little jabs in the side. Yeah, Stacey, right. And then, like, is she educated? Then you got Ashley, is she educated? Girl, like, what is that? Right? I don't get it. Kel says that Gizelle and Ashley are miserable women who are jealous. I think so too. And you know what? We already know why Gizelle's miserable, right? She got with that pastor. He cheated on her with everybody in the congregation, had kids on her and everything like that as well. And then why is Ashley miserable and jealous? Well, she got with that deviant old man. She sold herself to him. And what does she get out of it? She doesn't even get spousal support. You only got child support. And, you know, back to you, Ashley, like, oh, is she educated? Girl, the fact that you were educated, right? You're college educated. And instead of going out, getting a job, starting a career, working up the corporate ladder, what do? You find the creepiest, pervious man you can find in town. You go ahead, you marry him. You let him thought you out with all the women in the city until you finally get your retirement funds out of him, right? And what do you get? You don't even get spousal support. So you did all of that for nothing. You didn't even collect Hermes bags. You didn't get Van Cleef jewelry. You got nothing. You got nothing, materially speaking, you know, out of that. So you could have wound up in the same place on your own if you just used your damn education. So the fact that she could sit up there and look down on anybody when she chose to live her life this way, right? And remember when people were speaking out about your creepy man allegedly grabbing their booties and stuff, right? And it was caught on camera and whatnot. You were out here victim blaming everybody. And you think you can sit up there and look down on people. Oh, they pissed me off, y'all. Those girls pissed me off. Like, neither of them have anything worth bragging about in life. I'm sorry, but come on now. Gizelle's a great mom, but that's it. In every other aspect, she's horrible. Oh, it is unbearable how horrible she is. And I was liking her. I was like, yes, she turned over a new leaf. I knew it was fake, but come on. Mia got an MFA. MF's touching her A from when she worked the pool. I love that. And it's true. Listen, she got her MFA, y'all. Gizelle has to attack so much. She has no storyline, but talking about those daughters and showing little episodes of them. Exactly. Gizelle, stand down, girl. Stand down. You don't want it with these girls. You do not want it. And I'm glad too, Betty, that she is not a part of the cast. Come on. And Stacey, you know what? You're right. Stacey, she's such a gorgeous girl. She's a 10 out of 10. But what is with these shake and go synthetic wigs? You know what they say, hard wig, soft life. And the girls are always proving it to be true. And I know her ex probably thought that was her real hair too. She was married to a German man. He probably thought that was real. But she could do so much better. But you know what I gotta say? It's game over for everybody once Stacey masters the wig game, which I'm sure she will. Season 1, the girls tend to look rough. And there are girls who have looked way rougher than her, and then they glow up. I'm sorry, but Wendy's first season, it was kind of rough for her, right? But look at her now. She has flourished. She is a swan. And I think that Stacey, as soon as she levels up that wig game, she is going to crush it. Like, she truly, truly is absolutely beautiful. And guys, I'm getting really nervous. I hope she does not turn out to be another Kenya. I like Kenya overall, but she has been so mean, you guys. She has. And listen, we can't have three Giselles. We've already got Ashley so far up her behind. We don't need another one. Speaking of, was anyone else kind of surprised to see Ashley get second chair? Because all this time I thought that she was going to be kind of like having her exit this season, but she got second chair, so I don't know. It looks like we're going to be keeping her for another season, right? And exactly, Allie, you got played by Golem. Like, I would just woof, if that happened to me. How did she not get spousal support? If she's supposed to be the one giving Stacey divorce advice, get the heck out of here. You know nothing. Hi, Kahara. Good morning. I'm so glad you finished it. Come join the chat. Like, we've got so much roasting to do, you guys. By the way, if you're enjoying this episode of the Morning Report, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you enjoy my content. And exactly, East Awesome, why did she do it? The man got caught cheating on you, and somehow he got you to sign away your rights to his money. There's nothing up there. She uses pretty words. She's got a great vocabulary, but there's nothing up there. Exactly. Why did she sign it? And Stephanie is exactly right that Wendy learned very quickly. Her first season was rough. Everything was rough, but she is absolutely stunning these days. And I said the same thing to J.I. You know what though, Lily? I gotta say, her wig, like the texture of the hair, looked good, but it's true. We could see the hairline. In fact, 9 out of 10, the hair looked bad for everybody. You could see the line. You could see the lace for her. You could also see it for Kiarna as well. And you could see it on Jazzy. So at first I thought Jazzy had her own hair and then added a ponytail, but she added like a half frontal and it was kind of jarring to me. Then her own hair on the bottom, then more extension. Well, the extension is from the thing. I didn't care for Mia's hair either. And then let me go look. We know that Ashley had that synthetic prom like hair as well. Gizelle, like the hair looked good, but the color, it's not her color, but she won't let go of it for whatever reason. So the hair, it left a lot to be desired in general. God bless these girls. I really hope that they get it 100% right. This is the most beautiful, in my opinion, cast of all of the housewives in general. So when they get their hair together, Ricky, when I find you, it's over for everybody else. Okay. Now, there's something else that was kind of driving me nuts. I'm going to try and pull it up. I got to put down your comment, Illy. Can we talk about the way that Wendy sits in a dress, y'all? I've got an example of it. She's wearing these beautiful dresses every reunion. Then she sits like this. I don't understand why she never learned how to sit in a dress. Every time they pan to her, she is sitting like this. And I'm like, sis, you are not wearing pants. Please sit accordingly. Anyway, back to Jazzy. I know some of y'all forgot her, but she did come back to say her 2 little sentences. Shout out to Mia. And fumble around about whether or not she was a mistress, a side chick turned fiance. So it turns out she's going to be marrying that football man. And someone wrote in a question that was so lethal. They said, Jazzy, it sounds like you're just a side chick upgraded to fiance. Hey, Mia, you're a mistress. What are you thinking? Your professional opinion? Oh, they went in. This reunion was so good. I do have a question for you guys. Who else thinks that it was not even like a viewer who wrote in that question? Because I actually think that it was low-key. Andy, he wrote that down on his hand and decided to ask it and, pawn it off as somebody else's question. Please, Andy, we know your shade when we see it. So Theo says that Ashley did not deserve second chair. And Kahara said she only got it by default. Let me go ahead and put up that couch, okay? And you know what? I think that we're all right. She didn't deserve it. And she kind of only got it by default because there wasn't too much drama this year. You know what I mean? So like on her side, who was she competing against? Kiarna. Of course, she was going to get it over Kiarna, right? And then on the other side, you've got Mia in first, Wendy in second, and then you've got Stacey in third. So you know what I actually think? Maybe they should have put Stacey on the Gizelle and Ashley couch and put Stacey in second, maybe. Guys, let me know if I'm wrong in the chat or in the comment section if you're watching the playback. But I actually think maybe Stacey should have been here on this side and she should have been given second chair, then Kiarna third, and then on the other side where Stacey currently is seated, Wendy stays where she's at, and then Ashley sits beside her. Is that what you guys think would have been like a better kind of like layout? Let me know. I'm really curious about that. Okay, you guys. And Creme Brulee says that Michael made Ashley sign a post-nup. Exactly. You know, after he got caught cheating, he said, I cheated on you. Now you've got to let me go away with more of my money. Crazy. Stacey won't be like Kenya. Kenya started off as a villain against Phaedra in her first season of RHOA. Well, she just went heel. She finished off as a villain. So I'm scared that she's going to continue this arc, especially with the girls coming after her. Stacey irritated me when she decided not to go for child support, but went for alimony. Exactly. Child support is literally for the child. I think her reasoning was, okay, I know he's going to take care of my child for sure. He pays for her schooling, her health, her this, her that. So if he pays me for my things and all of those, like I'm going to use some of my alimony, correct me if I'm wrong, to go towards like her housing cost or something like that. But I think he should pay all of her schooling and stuff. And on top of that, give child support for the child, you know, that way Stacey has even more money coming in that she could put away for the child. I don't love that either, you guys. I'm really looking forward to them talking about it in part 2 as well. Now, speaking of the bitter girly pops, why don't we go talk about GNA? We're trying to get to the bottom of what this company is, what they sell, and it's giving very much September, spring, summer, right? So just to remind you guys, because it gets lost in the sauce when you watch RHOP, because it's very budget friendly, right? The Real Housewives are supposed to feature, profile, follow rich, upscale women. So the fact that these two could not even continue to invest in their print-on-demand products, and they're supposed to be the rich, like exclusive, influential women of the DMV is kind of like alarming to me, you guys. Sutton has a whole boutique out in Beverly Hills, right? For fun. Kyle had it for fun too, that they invested in, right? Until they couldn't anymore. And these girls, they were doing an online brand. They couldn't even invest in like 100 products. With their housewife salaries, the fact that they're supposedly rich, right? Gizelle was just bragging on Watch What Happened Live that Ashley was so rich from Michael. Well, why couldn't she put some money in the thing? Actually, she was sounding like she didn't get much of anything from that man and that she didn't have a budget for like a proper website. Like they didn't even invest in a proper website. It was a basic WordPress or Shopify template that you get for like free, you guys. Like, what is going on here? Why do we never get rich people like this on RHOP? The one time we get a truly rich girl, they run her off, you guys, and I can't. And please don't come and say Candace. Listen, Candace's mom was rich, not Candace, okay? Candace's mom was bullying her in exchange for giving her money. Candace had to put up with her for money. So no, like, why, you guys? Why? Anyway, I think they should just go ahead and shut it down. They couldn't figure out if it's a nonprofit or if it's an event planning business. Like, what is a wellness company that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, what is it? The identity is so lost, you guys. Just shut it down. Again, it's giving September, spring, summer. It's over, you guys. You tried. You had a good run. You know what I don't understand is why Ashley, who has been so like open about her like obsession with fitness, with yoga particularly, wasn't she certified as a yoga teacher? Why doesn't she open up or even like, you know, start doing pop-ups? Do you guys remember Raven from Love is Blind? She got on as a Pilates influencer. She does these online things. Why doesn't Ashley do something like that, right? Do online yoga classes. I subscribe to these things, right? I follow, what's her name? She's in Australia. She's an Australian girl, but she lives in Thailand. Move with Nicole, right? Like, and she's super duper popular. You put out video content for free. Then you also have like, you know, paid content and different things like that. Why doesn't Ashley do something like that? You know, or like Raven from Love is Blind. Raven, she does that online. She has her own fitness app. And on top of that, she collaborates with brands like Aloe, Lululemon, etc., to do pop-ups in various places of Pilates classes. Why isn't Ashley doing something like that? GNA just is not in line with her brand, and I need her to do something that like properly aligns with like, you know, her brand, right? Neither of them give fashion. Let's be for real, okay? Now, we're going to close out this morning report. I'm sorry to be going over. Is Hamlet here? Because I know like Hamlet is usually letting me know by now that she's got to get back to work. So shout out to you, Hamlet. But we got to talk about Mia's birthday party too. What did y'all think about how that turned out? What did y'all think about that? That ordeal was peak Mia, wasn't it? And maybe that's it, Miss T. She said, you know what? I'm not getting that. I'm about to be rich like Eddie. Honestly, that was just so damn shady. I can't believe she did that, y'all. I really, really cannot. I believe it. Again, I believe it. I know that Gizelle lies sometimes, but I don't think she's lying about this. She got the name and everything, y'all. I think it's true. But now I don't think it's going to come to fruition, y'all, unless Stacey wants to go full villain. Okay. So let's get into that birthday party, y'all. Okay. Oh. So Mia invites Jazzy and she invites Stacey to celebrate her birthday with her in Miami. And so we see the text messages flash across the screen and everything like that. And then we find out that the two girls did go to Miami and that actually, in fact, Mia stood them up. They traveled all the way to Miami, you guys, just to be stood up by the birthday girl, that they've spent their own money to go ahead and celebrate. And the fact that Mia never even bothered to call them or anything like that is crazy, right? And so Stacey and Mia lies about it all. She's like, I didn't know they were coming. And so Stacey, she gets really pissed. She pulls out her phone. She shows the text messages of her confirming with Mia and Mia responding saying, okay, good. I'm so excited that you'll be there. And then all of a sudden Mia's like, I hired a POC. I said, now what the hell do people of color have to do with this? Like, you hired a what? You know, she's like, apparently means point of contact. So now all of a sudden the point of contact knew that Stacey was coming, but not Mia. And then later they keep on questioning Mia because the story is not making any sense, you guys. But you know what, Ali? She could do mat Pilates. And I'm loving mat Pilates right now, too. Oh, so good. So they know that the story doesn't make any sense. And they keep on like pushing and pushing. And so Mia admits that she did know that Stacey was coming. So how do you as a friend ask your friend to spend money to come celebrate your birthday with you? You know she's supposed to come. And you never even bother to call to see what happened, especially with all that's going on with planes lately, you guys. Would you not be concerned, like, hey, maybe something happened to her plane? Like this, you know, the planes, they've been acting up lately. Let me see. No, she never cared. Not even like after. Like from that birthday shenanigan or debacle to today, Mia never called the girls. She only texted like, hey, sorry you didn't come. What? Like, but never actually full-blown called. That was crazy, you guys. And then when she gets backed into a corner, especially when Wendy tells her, look, Mia, you didn't invite anybody else here. And let me go pan out so we could see why this made Mia cry, right? 2 reasons. So we pan out to the entire crew, right? And so Wendy points to everybody. She goes all around the circle. She goes, of all the people here, you were only on good terms with these 2. You invited those 2 to your birthday, and they both, being the good friends that they are, said yes to going over to a different state to celebrate your birthday, and you treated them like that? That is crazy. And so at this point, when she looks around and realizes, damn, I really have nobody here who likes me. You know, I've only got like the side chick who barely made an appearance this season. She's probably not coming back for another season. And I've got Stacey, who isn't even a veteran, so she can't help me climb the ranks. Like, I'm screwed moving forward, right? So I think that that's the reason why she cried. And I think another reason why she cried was to kind of deflect, you know, so that they would ease up on her. It was all selfishly motivated. She does not care about Stacey. She does not care about Jazzy. And I think it's because they're newer to the shows, right? A mess. Mia, she's, oof, wow. And she's like, I'm going through things. Everybody's going through things, Mia. Everybody. You're not special in that regard. L Power says Mia's excuse of she's going through a lot is such a creative. Like Gizelle said, everyone is going through stuff every day. Mia's just a bad person. I agree. Girl, bye. Take your crocodile tears with you. We don't want it. Not today. You know, I've got Candace in my head. We don't have it. If I flew anywhere for anyone and was flaked on, it would end the relationship. Yup. Even if it was my mother. There is no excuse. I've never heard of anyone doing some ish like that. I agree. Patty LaBelle actually said the same thing a little bit earlier, so I'm going to go back and shout her out for her comment on that. Hi, Luz. She doesn't consider her children's feelings, so I'm not surprised. She's a horrible friend. Yeah, you know what? And speaking of that, Luz, I think it might be some sort of like potential anti-social personality disorder. I really do, because like her, like she's just sitting there like, yeah, and what, you know? So like, didn't she even literally say that? She's like, yeah, so I was late an hour to my party. So what's the problem? Girl, you couldn't even text these people that traveled for you that you were going to be an hour late. Like, what? Like, the whole thing is so crazy. I never reached out. Yeah. So what's the problem? Like, there's something going on. I think that like just mentally, like there's some sort of disorder there, you know, with Mia. So I really do hope that she gets help for it, because I think it's only going to continue to wreak havoc on her life if not. Semi DIY with Drea. Mia is such a bad liar because she isn't quick on her feet. Yup, and lies about stupid nonsense. Exactly. Then when she gets called out, it's just tee hee. Yeah. Now what? Listen, I'm going to admit that worked on me the first season. I thought it was hilarious, but now it's like, oh no, girl, you got a real problem. You really, really do. And you know what, Tanisha, I agree. Mia was threatening to walk out after the end of this episode, part 1. We do see her in part 2, so she does ultimately end up filming. However, in the trailer for part 2, we see her walking off too, and we see people talking about how she exploited her children, right? So at this point, I think she's realizing that it's lights out for her. You know who she kind of reminds me of? Another person who might have a similar type of problem, Brynn Wheatfield from New York City, Housewives of New York City. I don't watch that. But I did see, I actually only exclusively watched the last episode because it was a huge scandal, right? And like her too. And the way she's always just standing there like this, you know, whenever she does like these things, like she'll say something so evil to you, or like it'll be a full-blown lie, and then she'll be like this. You know, like it's like Mia. Now what? They just both have these like weird kind of like reactions to things that just do not add up. There's something like kind of like creepy about it all. Something is not clicking. Exactly. There is just something not clicking there. She's completely sane. Gordon is bipolar. Oh yeah, don't forget. You know what? And I hope that they bring that up as well. The way that she just used that at every single damn turn. It is indeed hard to keep up with the lies, you know. A mess. You know what? I would like to see Brynn and Mia together on Housewives in Paradise. Do they still do that Ultimate Girls Trip? When's the last time they put that out? I'm gonna have to go and look that up.